Let's begin. Today we are playing the Qualifier play-in, which we gotta go 6-1 or better in to qualify for the day 1 of the Qualifier next week. Let's see. Opened this pool earlier today and then forgot what was in it. So in white, we have a Humiliation, Clement, which is a pretty big draw, Steadfast Paladin, you hear something on the Watcher, fine, not a big fan of Guiding Bolt, Lulu's good, Hippogriff is great, Stalwart's mostly not the best, Disciples is fine, Ranger Squadron's fine. Not hyper deep, but Clement is cool. Blue doesn't exist. Black has Shambling Ghast and 2 Deadly Disputes are fine. Altar of Ball is pretty good, especially if it gets some solid ETBs. Guildsworn Prowler is good, Viconia is excellent, Grey Slot is fine, Imp is fine, Plague is good, Spawn is solid, Saravok is solid, Drider's pretty bad, and the top end of Black is bad as usual. Red gets Warcaller, which is good, Hobgoblin's good, Enthusiasm is good. Unexpected Allies, you come to the Null Camp, not the greatest. Giant Fire Beetles is solid, Improvised Weaponry is solid, Cardoom is good, Young Red Dragon's fine, Faraday's Fireball is fine. Green has Nurturer, Basilisk, Moon Druid's fine, Lycanid's fine, Draconic Muralists is fine, Hill Gorger's fine. And then for artifacts, we got 2 Pilgrim's Eyes, a Fraying Line, a Meteor Golem, and a Lantern. So I guess let's see what each of our pools worth of just cards we're okay playing on curve are. I kind of feel like no matter where we're at, we actually have a concerningly low number of 2-drops, which is not my favorite. I am wondering if I've consistently been underrating Two-Handed Axe just as a combat trick. I wonder if this card's kind of close to Blessed Hippogriff with slightly lower value because 2-mana Double Strike is worse than 1-mana Indestructible. I think that's definitely a possibility. Let's see, we have 2 Pilgrim's Eyes, Fraying Line, and Meteor Golem as well. Alright, so what does just black-red look like? Can you do this? Yeah, okay. I saw somebody doing this trick where you type creature, and it separates out the creatures in your curve, and I was very impressed by that. Altar of Ball is kind of a 3-mana creature. Alright, so we have a functional black-red pool that's fine. I think my green's better than my red. I think my red's my best color. I'm generally not super excited about green in this format, to be honest. Like, we'd get a big creature, we have an Underseller Myconid, we have a Muralists that could fetch nothing really. Moon Druid's fine. I do like Moon Druid. Green gives us 2 2-drops. We don't have a lot of 4-drops to ramp into. I don't think there's much here in green that's pulling me into it. If I had like more Circle of the Moon Druids, I might be into that. There is a Lazan I could try to play. I have been consistently deeply disappointed by this card. I've had a lot of decks that went really ham on it, and it just totally failed to provide any value. It's just too expensive to be as vulnerable as it is, and require you to untap with it and have the right cards in hand to start getting value. It is something I think you could play around in draft, and I think that it has a little more synergy if you have adventure creatures, but there just aren't enough adventure creatures consistently enough in this format, and like it requires you to be doing 3-color nonsense that isn't aggressive, and I think that's just like inherently a really disadvantaged place to be starting from. Altar of Ball with Viconia and Vampire Spawn is pretty interesting. Meteor Golem also plays well with it, although annoyingly you can't discard Meteor Golem to specialize. which is the kind of discard outlet nonsense that works best with the altar. Sock's still off. That's true. I forgot to turn it back on. Like this is green, black, splashing, humiliation, Griffin, Clement. Yeah, I don't think that's how I'd build it, just because I'm not super interested in what this green pool can do, and I really like red, having Cardoon, the Warcaller, improvised weaponry, enthusiasm. I think that's doing what I want to do. Like green doesn't have any removal, and I think that the late game is pretty weak. I also don't really want to splash Clement, because it's a card that's so much more powerful on turn 2, and it's not very powerful if it's your splash card that you're playing once you've played out all your other cards. Howdy flying, I'm doing well. Yeah, I do like the card quality in white, but I think that there are too few cards here, and I don't have any particularly deep color to pair it with. So if I want to play white, it has to be 3 colors, and all of the good white cards we have are good specifically at being aggressive, and that just doesn't work while being 3 colors in this format. I don't think I have a 2-color pool other than red-black, because white isn't deep enough to be 2 colors, blue doesn't exist, and the green that we have I don't think is aggressive, and I just don't want to be a not aggressive deck in a deck that doesn't have bombs. Like I could try to do green-black Altar of Ball stuff. That is an option. And then try to like loop Hill Giant or Meteor Golem with Altar of Ball, but the problem I have with those decks is that because there's a lack of playable, like, card advantage-y stuff, you still can't really assemble an engine that puts you over the top of aggro decks a majority of the time, consistently. Like, if I build that deck and then don't draw Altar of Ball, we're in a lot of trouble. Oh, do we? You're right, we do still have the creature villain. But the only non-creature we had in white that was playable was the Humiliation. I could go deeper into black and like play Eyes of the Beholder, but that strikes me as a mistake. Hook Horror doesn't really synergize with Altar of Ball at all. It does synergize with Viconia, though. Normally I would cut Pilgrim's Eye, but I do think that Pilgrim's Eye gets slightly better as a 3-drop when you have Mephit's Enthusiasm, and slightly better with Warcaller. And I suppose slightly better with Deadly Dispute. I wonder if this is a world in which I have enough treasure production that Eyes of the Beholder is reasonable. I also wonder if Baleful Beholder becomes more playable with Warcaller. That could be a possibility. I mean, I already need a cut. What? I guess what I'm trying to do is convince myself that it's Pilgrim's Eye. I don't think that it's Meteor Golem. Can we just play 16 with Double Eye and Double Dispute as Treasure Maker? What are we supposed to cut here? I definitely can't play Eyes of the Beholder and play 16 lands. That I'm not comfortable with. When you're the aggressor, is fraying line what you want? I do actually think so. Because I think that it plays nicely with Deadly Dispute and is a way to recover from a board state where you're kind of in an awkward position. I've just been impressed by fraying line in general, in all situations. Gray Slot is pretty unimpressive. It's better with Cobalt Warcaller. And I also think that it kind of synergizes with Altar of Ball, in that we have a reason to have the self-mill theme. It also helps Saravok be better. I've just kind of been impressed by Gray Slot. I've never had it in my deck and been sad to have it. I might be sad that I have too many 3-drops. That is probably the most reasonable reason to cut it, but I also think that I might still just prefer it to Pilgrim's Eye. Hobgoblin Captain is, or not Hobgoblin, Reckless Barbarian is definitely the card we have that I'm the least impressed by, but also I don't think I can cut it because I think I'm too light on 2-drop creatures as it stands. I could cut Fraying Line, but I really honestly have been impressed by it, so I don't want to. Could cut Nefarious Imp. Do I think that's better or worse than Pilgrim's Eye? Yeah, sometimes Slod dies to Shambling Ghast, but something's going to die to Shambling Ghast, kinda no matter what. I also don't think Shambling Ghast is as prevalent in Sealed as it is in Draft. Alright, I think we're cutting Pilgrim's Eye. It's possible that the right answer is to cut Meteor Golem, but I'm a coward. Should I be trying to fit two-handed axe in? It's really interesting with the young red dragon and Saravok. Now, does Saravok mean that I'm supposed to just, like, keep in every flyer I can and play the two-handed axe? Is that the impression we're getting here? And then just not play the Meteor Golems, stay smaller. And then I can actually be a 16 land deck? I think I might actually be more sold on that idea. Okay. I think I'm kind of on board for this. I'm becoming increasingly convinced. We're also a 16 land deck with 2 copies of Pilgrim's Eye. Like, that's pretty reasonable. Unexpected allies could be interesting, but I don't think there's anything I want to cut for it. This makes our Altar of Ball a tiny bit worse, but, I mean, Bone Offering is just so good that there's no way we don't ever run Altar of Ball anyway. And it can start to get back hasty creatures from the graveyard if we gave them haste earlier with a Warcaller. So, alright, let's ship it. This is best of 3. I believe this is best of 1. Okay, so we can keep this, and then hopefully draw a land in our first 2 turns. Play Pilgrim's Eye to get black, and then jam Fraying Line on 4. Slow the opponent down. I think that's pretty reasonable. That's not a land. Things are about to get a little awkward. Opponent's playing blue-red, though. That's a really good sign. Okay, mountain's good enough. We would love to get a swamp. Pilgrim's Eye. That's actually pretty inconvenient right now. Opponent not splashing. Interesting. Let's see. Playing Fraying Line to trade a Pilgrim's Eye with a Pilgrim's Eye is not worthwhile. So I could swing with Pilgrim's Eye and see what happens. If they don't block, I can play a Nefarious Imp. Should I play Nefarious Imp pre-combat? So that if they do block, I get a Scry? But if I play Nefarious Imp and they don't block, I can swing with everything and then they trade with Nefarious Imp, which isn't excellent for me. I think I'd rather bait them into making the trade. Yeah. So now I could just play Slod, which is the only thing that actually lets us attack with Hobgoblin Captain with haste or with First Strike next turn. I think that playing to the board like that is what I want to do. Rabble Rouser. Okay. Trades with Slod, we're fine with that. And Cardoom is an absolutely stellar top deck. I'm willing to trade the Slod with the Rabble Rouser so they don't get to play a second one. Okay, bunch of damage. Love to see it. That's a nothing opponent, huh? Okay. So what's our trick here that we decided not to at least play the creature with? Especially since it results in me getting 2 cards under Cardoom? Faraday's Fireball, huh? Okay. Considering the cards under that are kind of excellent, I'm fine with it. I'm sad my opponent isn't taking damage, though. So let's go ahead and make a big creature with menace and play another creature, and now the opponent has to be very, very, very scared. Got a giant creature with menace and one with first strike. Yep. Hill Giant Herd Gorgers, not terribly relevant. So I could play Altar of Baal and convert Kobold Warcaller into a Cardoom. That doesn't sound like what I want to do, though. I believe that we just play the land and attack with everybody. If the opponent blocks with Hill Giant on the first striker, I get to Fireball, do some additional damage to them, put them to 3. Yeah, okay. It's very, very, very difficult to play dirtily nonsense against aggro in this format. Alright, we are on the play. We have Kobold Warcaller on turn 1. No 2-drop, though. Hopefully that gets top-decked. Failure. Alright. I'm going to continue to take this 1 damage with Warcaller rather than give a 3-drop in the hand haste, because after they play a blocker, I can always give it haste next turn anyway. Do I want to deck thin or punch the opponent? They left up mana, which kind of implies that they might have like a Dragonfire, and I'd rather them Dragonfire a Pilgrim's Eye. But I should try to maximize damage, I think. Yep, it's a Dragonfire. Soul Knife Spy, huh? Do I really want to trade Viconia with that? No. But I am willing to block with the Warcaller and then sack the Warcaller to Deadly Dispute. And I guess give haste to Pilgrim's Eye. You're falling a little behind, though. Wow. Alright. Opponent is playing a deck, alright. Let's see. What do I want more of, huh? I guess the vampire spawn. It's gonna require me to be dirtily. The Soul Knife Spy is pretty annoying here. Okay, so what kind of combat trick is this opponent? No? Oh, just more getting 2 for 1? That's fine. Let's see, do I want to just jam creatures? I believe that I want to activate this Slod's ability this turn. Cool. So Slot is online. Opponent's starting to flood. But it has something here, huh? Assuming they have a counterspell, what do I want to play? I should probably just be playing Slod regardless. Okay. Well, that's a lot of nothing. Hobgoblin Captain is also nothing. Okay. Well, what if I play the spawn? Drain twice. There's a board wipe in this format, but it's in blue. Okay. Keep feeding me opponents who are playing blue. I'll take it. Nutty bun fun. That goes it. Am I having fun with this format? I am. I very much enjoy sealed formats that have an aggressive bend, and this one definitely fills that niche, I think. Natty Hogbog. It is going well. Spent today hanging out at an RCQ, which was strangely relaxing. I don't know why I find that environment just like so zen, but enjoyed it. Give cat. Oh, that's a good idea. We'll do that next. Ooh. Alright, we're on the draw, but we got good 2 drops and 3 drop. Love to see it. I am seeing a lot more blue than I also was expecting, but it is performing as I would have expected. Think you should skew towards assuming people run stuff like counterspells? That's kind of the default for sealed? Oh, I super don't agree with that. I think that's like the opposite of the default. 3-mana counterspells are heinous in like every format. New Capenna was, I think, probably the biggest exception to that I've ever encountered in sealed, where like Disdainful Stroke was actually playable because the format skewed so expensive. Do I want to trade Prowler with this or Captain? I really hate my opponent having a 2-drop lifelinker. I could try to rely on Vampire Spawn to stop it. I guess we'll go Captain and kind of just expect them to gain 2 and me to attack for 3, and then Spawn to hopefully block Paladin. Do I have to trade with this now that Hobgoblin Captain isn't actually going to connect? Or would I rather trade Hobgoblin Captain with Nefarious Imp and let Vampire Spawn invalidate Paladin? I think I'm supposed to trade with the Paladin. I am lacking a second black source here. Huh. I guess I play around top decking a second black source, because I do want to go Guildsworn Prowler, hold up Deadly Dispute next turn if possible. And playing the Vampire Spawn plays more into that. Alright. My opponent not playing stuff that trades well with Vampire Spawn. Okay, well, Young Red Dragon gives us something to do that provides us a second black source eventually, so that's fine. I could play Young Red Dragon this turn. That sets me up to have to Sewer Plague the Nefarious Imp, which I'm not really excited about the tempo on that. I think I'd just rather develop the Prowler this turn. I can also, if needs be, sack the treasure to Deadly Dispute. Okay, opponent's very interested in racing me. Some response here. Indestructible is a possibility. The Humiliation's a possibility, but Deadly Disputing a Humiliation's not the most embarrassing thing for me. Alright, opponent takes some damage. I believe I just play Young Red Dragon. Have to sack a treasure if they humiliate me, but it's not the end of the world. Okay, opponent. We can keep racing. Yeah, hold back the Nefarious Imp to block the dragon. That's reasonable. Still kind of doing me dirty with these lack of swamp stuffs. Do I just accept trading the imp for the dragon? Probably. Because if the opponent wants to try to use the indestructible spell after blocking the dragon, I get to blow that out with Sewer Plague. Okay. I think I'm fine with that. Do I deadly dispute the treasure, giving them an opening to humiliate my prowler? I believe so. I think that the chance of hitting a black source off of this makes it worth doing right now. No, but some interesting stuff. Do we just jam the imp and not hold up deadly dispute, but get to attack with imp next turn? Two-handed axe represents for 7 mana, doing close to lethal. I think not. I don't think we play the imp here. The racing continues. Guardian Naga. Inconvenient. Well, I can double strike into that with Prowler, or I could use my Sewer Plague here. I'm probably supposed to Sewer Plague that. I think. Which doesn't actually let me attack, but drawing Swamp was pretty good. It'll be a 0-1 by my turn. Okay, don't really care about the Unicorn. Curious to see if the opponent attacks with the Pilgrim's Eye. They do. So they have 2 blockers. I can push through 8 damage in the air as it stands. I don't really want to risk doing that. Happy to deny them their 2-1. Fraying Line. So they get to save 1 creature if they want. Huh. I don't believe that I want Fraying Line right now. Ooh, Saravok. That's interesting. I don't believe that's lethal, though. Oh, wait, it is. Okay. Oh, I'll go for lethal. Ooh, I can also specialize it for black to make it super lethal. Alright, let's go for super lethal. kind of playing with my food here, but it's important to find best lethal. I'm really glad this wasn't a sorcery. I forgot to check. Alright, that's probably worth having put in the two-handed axe. Considering how many flyers we have. Alright, on the play with Warcaller on turn 1, and a hand that is all low-cost cards feels pretty reasonable. So let's just swing for 3 on turn 2. Highly reasonable. Ugh, Steadfast Paladin's gross. No, missing land drops, why? How are we gonna swing this, huh? If I could have improvised weaponry that Paladin, we'd be in such a stellar spot. Do I want to force my opponent to trade their Paladin with Hobgoblin Captain, I wonder? I don't want to. I don't think I'm supposed to. I think I'm just supposed to give Prowler haste and just swing with Prowler. If they attack with Paladin, I just allow it, and I plan to use improvised weaponry on Paladin as soon as I find a land. I think they're not supposed to block here, and they're supposed to attack with Paladin on their turn. Unless they don't have a 3-drop and need to hold it back to block Captain. That would be the best case for me. Okay, they attack. Rasad's fine, as long as we draw a land. Which we did. Okay. Then let's go ahead and pop the Rasad and get back our Hasty Prowler and swing with the squad. The Paladin's gaining them a lot of life. That's gonna be awkward. But the squad is ready to go. Alright, Enthusiasm is a little brutal. Rabble Rouser is equally a little brutal. Okay, so I kind of have to Sewer Plague that Rabble Rouser, but not if they trade with the Prowler. Do I want to attempt to swing with a Hasty Slod? I don't believe so. Alright, let's see if the opponent wants this trade. I kind of doubt it. They also kind of doubt it. Alright, well, we do have to get rid of that Rabble Rouser. Now I can block the Paladin and Deadly Dispute the Warcaller. Is that reasonable? Maybe? Prevents 2 life. I guess. Puts a lot of creatures in the graveyard for Slod, which is appealing. Opponent's board is going a little bit ham. Oh dear. I think I gotta gamble and hope that Slod mills 2 creatures. One. Only one. Oh dear. That makes this race a lot harder now. Still, I think I have to trade with the Dusk Guard, slow down the clock. Wow, okay. They got some kind of double strike thing? Wow, they just took that? Fire beetles, okay. So if I Deadly Dispute, sacking Prowler, I draw 3 cards towards lethal double strike. Or I could just Enthusiasm the Fire Beetle, attack for 4, hold back a blocker. Tricky, tricky, tricky. I think I want to try to go for lethal. They have a response. That's bad. Oh, that is also lethal. Alright, well, they're probably going to have Humiliation and will, you know, win here, but when in doubt, give it a go. I don't really fancy my odds of not going for it. Oh, okay, well, I guess they didn't have anything. Cool. I don't feel like I was supposed to win that, but alright, alright. Maybe they had 2 attacks. Wouldn't they have had lethal? I don't know. Alright, well, this hand has 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop, so that sounds good. Thanks for following, folks. Glad you're enjoying the stream. Alright, turn 3 Red Dragon isn't bad. Soldiers of the Watch? Am I supposed to let them have that? I feel like I'm supposed to improvised weaponry that, but I can always do it post-combat. I could just let them have the Soldiers of the Watch. Where does that leave me at next turn? Not enough mana to do 2 things of any kind. I don't think I care about a 2-1. I mean, I really am sad if they have, like, Humiliation plus second white source to start blocking me, but I feel like Shambling Ghast means that I don't care as much about this. Do I want to remove Flame Fist Officer before it grows bigger, or do I just want to commit more to the board? I kind of want to play Mephit's Enthusiasm before I play the Imp, though. But I don't want to play Mephit's Enthusiasm this turn. I guess I can just play Mephit's Enthusiasm next turn. Alright, well, let's go ahead and weaponry the officer then. could Enthusiasm the Watch. I've got more mana than I know what to do with, so I might as well hold it in case they play some kind of flying blocker that interrupts my dragon. We did nothing. On 4 mana, we passed. No creature. What does that mean? Huh. Alright, well. I mean, I'm gonna attack. I did 5 damage to an attacker? Oh, it's literally just a Manticore to trade with Young Red Dragon. Okay, I can live with that. Let's see. Is it worth playing Enthusiasm's Pilgrim Eye here? It's using up some resources, but I think it is. I think it's better to play the Pilgrim's Eye than the Nefarious Imp so that I deck thin. And then I'm also kind of spreading out my stats a little more, even if I'm doing 1 less damage this turn. Okay. Playing the Nefarious Imp, pre-combat. See what the opponent's got. Trades with the Ghast. I get to kill their creature and get essentially 2 scries out of it. More than happy for that. Get rid of a land. Scry. Ooh, yes. We like Viconia. Viconia, you give haste, right? So play, exile, specialize, have 2 mana left over, meaning I could get a Soldiers of the Watch with haste and play it and attack into my opponent's open mana. I could also get a flyer. If they have a removal spell... There's not a lot of removal spells they could actually have here. Well, I guess in black there's actually plenty. So I think I just am supposed to go for Soldiers of the Watch. Oh, but the partner ability creates a Soldiers of the Watch I can't actually cast, so it's lower value than normal. Huh. Okay. I guess I'm not actually doing that, which makes this timing incorrect. Ew. Okay. You do make a copy with haste, right? Yeah. Let's see. Well, in that case, I guess we're going for the Young Red Dragon. That's going to be a real problem. Lifelink is mean. Alright, let's pay 2 mana to scry 1. Happy we did that. I guess I do kind of care about the 1 extra mana here. I did, in fact, care about the 1 extra mana here. How have so many lands on the bottom of my deck. Nefarious Imp has been an all-star. How are we handling my opponent gaining 4 life a turn? Do I have to double block that thing and hope the opponent has no interaction whatsoever? Opponent goes to 8. If they can't kill any of my creatures, I'm representing 3 blocks necessary? No, okay, so not 3 blocks necessary. Deadly Dispute. That's actually really, really, really good because it fizzles an Asterion set a life gain. Oh, except not, because I actually have to block right now. Or I die. Bummer. Gaining 8 a turn? Oh yeah, they could choose to gain more life. That's true. Yeah. So I'd be mostly fine if I wasn't dead on board. Okay. Well, I guess we're hoping Deadly Dispute top decks something to keep us alive. Fraying Line is not it. Need an instant speed way to interact. Is Sewer Plague it? Sewer Plague does put us at a lot less. Alright. Knight versus Soldier. I guess killing a knight is better? So currently, if we draw the double strike, we win? Pilgrim's Eye. That mostly results in us dying. We gave it our all. Yeah, I did actually misread this card. I thought that it was target opponent loses life equal to the amount of life they lost, or that they lose life equal to the amount you gained. I did not realize it could double life gain. Which makes that already good card better than I thought. We are on the play, our mana is good, our curve is existent. I shall accept this. The land draws are satisfactory. Oh my. Shadowheart's deeply scary, so I'm very, very, very glad I can kill it immediately. And then possibly make a copy of it at some point? That would be cool. It is pretty good when you're being aggressive. Valor Singer. So I could play Fraying Line on my Vaconia, threaten to kill their Valor Singer. They'd probably be okay with that. I'm probably just supposed to put a Shadowheart into play. And then attack for 3. This feels pretty good. Drain the opponent, continue pinging the opponent. Their life total's low enough that I can specialize it next turn if I want to. Reckless Barbarian, that's ignorable. Battlecry Goblin, that's ignorable. So if I attack with Viconia, they block with the squad. I mean, I'm pretty sure that I'm just supposed to specialize Shadowheart, discarding this swamp. I wish I could discard Fraying Line. It's actually kind of a bummer that I can't. I'd love to specialize and hold up Sewer Plague. That doesn't actually give me good attacks, though. Death Touch Lifelink isn't exciting. I really wish I could do the red version, so maybe I just don't do Shadowheart this turn? Can I swing with Shambling Ghast? I probably can. I think swinging with Shambling Ghast is correct, because I think it puts the opponent in a position where they can't block Shambling Ghast or else Sewer Plague blows them out. Like if they put Valor Singer on Shambling Ghast and the other two in front of Iconia, I just get to eat their board. If they stack everybody in front of Iconia, then I got an extra point of damage in. This certainly results in me blowing them out. I believe that's probably the most correct thing I can do. And I think we just hold on to the swamp in case I need to discard it to something. Nefarious Imp is fine. Okay, well, I'm glad we held on to the swamp because I think that I'm discarding it now. Then we just get to attack and they're kind of in chump block mode, and I'm gaining an insane amount of life. And this seems pretty good to me. Will? That's inconvenient. Yeah, I definitely don't want you to steal that, so no. Alright, so Cardoon forces the block with Will. That's probably pretty good. On the other hand, I could Altar of Ball back Shadowheart, but that's more of a next turn thing, not a this turn thing. Cardoon, unfortunately, is going to result in us getting a red card that we can't play here. Oh, at the beginning of the end step of my next turn, not this turn. Cool. Hobgoblin Captain is a chump blocker. Sepulchral is a better chump blocker. Alright, fair enough. Alright, draw land, win the game. Draw land, win the game. Alright, well, let's give that a go. Yes, this is my graveyard, right? Right. Oh, I should have been exiling stuff from their graveyard. Oh, right, this also drains too. I forgot about that part. That was even better than I thought. Oh, that's so disgusting to have one of these that drains, and then every time my opponent kills it for the rest of the game, it comes back with Altar of Ball. Turns every creature I play into another. Oh, God. Oh, that's nasty. Ugh. This is most certainly the worst hand we've seen thus far. But this is also exactly the kind of position that Fraying Line is supposed to be decent for, so alright, here we go. No, opponent, you're not supposed to do nothing. I need you to do things so that I can punish you with Fraying Line. And there's something. Oh, are you missing land drops? Because, yeah, okay. Well, that does do a lot to make Fraying Line better. Should I let my opponent overextend into Fraying Line and just, like, Deadly Dispute the treasure? Huh. I could just activate Slod this turn. No. Let's play the Evasive Threat, and then maybe Fraying Line after that. Or not. I don't want to overcommit to the board, because Fraying Line is incredibly powerful if your opponent is missing land drops. They don't have Dragon's Fire. I'm kind of tempted to just Entropic Decay and pass. That can't be right, though. I could play Saravok and then Entropic Decay next turn. But then they wouldn't actually attack with the Hobgoblin Captain. Well, I can actually specialize this. Okay. I guess playing Saravok here is fine. Don't make the mistake of thinking this game is completely over. Although them attacking is probably means sorcery speed removal on the Saravok. It is entirely possible for me to flood out here and them to win the game off just top decking correctly. But discard 7-drop, continue missing land drops is probably not what'll do it. Alright, let's go ahead and specialize here, discarding a mountain. Okay, opponent has nothing that makes me willing to Entropic Decay. Which does hit 2 creatures, which delights me. Now the opponent's in an extremely difficult spot that I don't think they get to come back from. Which makes this slightly anticlimactic. Uthgardt Fury, I mean, that's a good card. It's a really good card. Alright. My life total is somewhat in danger. Okay. Valor Singer dies to Sewer Plague. So if they're holding up Indestructible, that's not going to stop Sewer Plague. If they're holding up Humiliate, they're holding up Unicorn. Okay. Well, this suddenly just got a little dangerous. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Huh. I guess any creature top deck, because I had Deadly Dispute, actually was good enough. I didn't think about that. But the fact that this can sack itself, and that I didn't need to have the Deadly Dispute to give Slod Menace, is just absolutely delightful. I'm actually kind of disappointed I had that Dispute in hand. That makes that so much of a less fun top deck. Although I will say, turn 2 Hobgoblin Captain, despite how many lands they missed, it's really impressive how in the game they were just off playing a 2-mana 3/1, while I didn't have a play until turn 3. Considering how many turns they played no lands and no creatures, that should be an indication of, like, how incredibly tight this format can be in terms of racing.